Coleman brought me on and said, "You run the church." We'd always dreamed of this being kind of in the style of a monastic idea from like Ireland back in the day, where you would have gardens and farms and community and also like a church. And so we originally dreamed of that just being kind of a house church and just meeting in our living room. I just went and got some pizzas from Little Caesars and we just kind of talked about the Bible and via our neighbors. But then that grew and grew and grew, and people said, "Hey, we want to start like a real church." We had just bought this building for our produce store, and so we said, we'll use the back half and turn it into a church. What we kind of centered church around was a common meal that we have together. And so we eat a full meal every week, and we get different groups to bring that in. We try to get our neighbors to supplement that, and then sometimes we're just cooking burgers or something. And so the meal is where church really happens. That's where we really become a family. Well, and I almost feel like our Thursday home Bible studies are the most important, because that is the place where we are practicing hospitality. We're welcoming people into our home and into our community. And the idea is there that, like we're a real neighborhood. And I feel like that's where people can actually let their guard down and be themselves. And it's just so accessible. Sometimes people are intimidated by coming to church, and this is just like, hey, come over and have some pizza. Our Saturday night, that's coffee and hymns. We started that just because we were packed out in here. We couldn't fit anyone else. We were just got like, well, we can't make the space any bigger, so we'll just start a second service. And so instead of just having an identical service, we want to create kind of a different space and a different place for people to feel comfortable for that. We keep that very casual, and we've learned kind of a common theme that brings them together is more of the older hymns, because everyone knows Amazing Grace. You know those. So we just kind of sing these old-timey hymns, and we drink coffee and share about life. I have always been very hardcore at that. I don't really care about numbers. What I care about is developing a strong community of people's lives being transformed by the love of Jesus. My dream ultimately is to work myself out of the job where we've just raised up our youth and our local leaders, and they end up, replacing us and are even better at it than we are. And so I hope that is gonna keep being the case, where we keep seeing God empower people here.